Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. Yeah, buddy. So today's a pretty cool day. I'm directing my first video project ever. I'm working with my buddy Petey. I've known him for forever. He's one of my best friends. He hired me to help him with this project. So today I'm gonna bring you all along. And it's funny, as I was working on this, I started thinking back to all the photo shoots I did early on in this whole business journey of mine. And I started compiling a list of maybe 5, 6 super annoying things that photo clients do. See, today I'm in a fortunate spot because I'm working with one of my best friends. So I know it's not gonna be annoying, but there are countless different things that I have come across over the years that they just drive you crazy. And today I want to talk about them because I wish I knew about them early on, not so that I could avoid them, because it's kind of impossible to avoid them, just so I could manage them and navigate the situations a little bit better. So we'll talk about that as well. It's going to be an awesome creative day, but first, y'all know the vibes. We got to exercise. So run is complete. Are we focused? So y'all gotta forgive me, I forgot an ND filter. So our footage is cranked up to 1600 right now, but we're about to go inside and do this shoot. The first thing that's gonna happen with your clients is they are gonna be late. Today, we were on time, both of us, which is pretty rare. But if your client is late, the best thing you can do is send a reminder text in the morning like, hey, are we still good for 2 o'clock? And also when you're negotiating and setting up the price, let them know, hey, I'm gonna be there on time. The clock starts, my fee, everything starts when we agree on a time. So at least you're making money if you're sitting around waiting for them. So yesterday's shoot went fantastic. I got a package here from Darren Rigo. Hey, pretty cool, photo book. So shout out to Darren, he sent me this. Oh, cool. Wow, this book is personalized. So Evan, this book would not exist without you and your YouTube videos. Your commitment to storytelling, to Atlanta, and overall vision and something to say gave me inspiration and confidence to try to do a little slice of North BC. That's really cool. That's the reason why I do this stuff. So with a shoot like the one we did yesterday, the concept and general creative direction of the shoot is already decided by Petey. It's kind of decided by the nature of the project. So all I'm doing is basically putting my little creative twist on an idea and a story that is already there. That is where you want to be if you are a photographer and you're getting booked for a job. And that leads us into the second thing I want to talk about, which is getting booked for a job where they expect you to essentially be the creative director and invent the creative idea for their project. This happens way more often than you think. Now, typically, let's say a couple hires you for some engagement photos or for like couples photos for their wedding invitations or something. You're gonna pick out the location because you know what location is gonna work best. You have an idea of what's gonna be photogenic, what's gonna have good lighting, you can tell them what clothes to wear. That is perfectly acceptable. But the complete opposite side of that is when a company or a person, another artist, hires you for a photo shoot and they have no creative vision whatsoever. Or they have a creative vision and they don't want to put any work into the logistics of actually bringing that creation to life. Meaning, let's say they have some crazy Hype Williams belly inspired photo shoot in mind and they expect you as a photographer to find the location, find the models and extras. All of these things that is not your job. Your job is to make pictures, and unfortunately, a lot of people don't seem to understand that. They just want to be lazy and they just want you to do everything. So you really have 2 options in this case. One, don't take them on as a client. I'm telling you from experience, it is going to be more of a pain in your ass than you expect because typically these people live in a delusional fairy tale land where they think that really expensive, high budget photo shoots can just happen at the snap of a finger. Or the second option is make sure that you are compensated properly for all this extra work you're doing. So if you really like this creative idea that you have and you want to bring it to life, just make sure they're paying you enough money and compensating you for the time that you're investing into all those extra things outside of actually making the photos. the topic of photo books, we are out here in Covington, Georgia, because as I talked about in the last vlog, I'm currently finishing my photo book. It's actually been sent off to do test prints already, but I can still add pages if I want to, and one location I wanted to come back to is this fruit stand behind me. I made some photos here last year. They just weren't as good as I wanted them to be, so today I'm gonna give it one more shot. Real quick, before we do any of that though, I wanna quickly thank our sponsor today, Squarespace. So I guarantee one of you is watching this video right now thinking, if only I actually had clients to annoy me. Well, let me tell you the easiest way that you can start getting clients today, and that is through person-to-person networking. If you're a photographer out there, you're walking around with your camera, I guarantee someone has walked up to you before and said, yo, you got a website? You do photography? Are you a photographer? And if you answer no, you're missing out on opportunities to get paid with your creative work. So what I like to do is on my website, evanranft.com, I have a contact me page. So anytime I run into someone who asks me if I'm a photographer, I just give them my website and say, hey, you can contact me through this tab on the site. There's actually a button on my homepage you can click. And lucky for you, I have a video on this channel where I break down exactly how you can do the exact same thing and build a site just like mine. So I'll go ahead and link that in the description down below. If you're a photographer, one of the easiest ways you can invest into your business is your own personal website, and Squarespace is hands down the easiest way to do that. Their customizable templates are fantastic. They have so many different options. Their customer service is award-winning, and they have been a huge part of my photography business for years now. So you can go to squarespace.com/EvanRanft, start a free trial, and you can use code EvanRanft to get 10% off your first purchase. That's squarespace.com/EvanRanft to start a free trial, and you can use code EvanRanft to get 10% off your first purchase. Thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring today's video. This corner right here is where I made one of my favorite photos of last year. Basically, there's all these different windows and antique stores and all these really interesting ways that you can utilize reflections and like gaps in the reflections and colors. So today ended up being an amazing day of photography. I'm really happy with everything we made, and this video had a lot more photography in it than I was expecting. I had one photo that I wanted to include in the book, and I didn't have an image to pair up with it, and now I think I got it with one of those fruit stand photos, so I'm pretty hyped. And I also really like that selfie I made of myself, and I like that reflection photo too of the person, and then the flag is in the shot. I wish I had a few more of those, but they're all kind of luck. You know, you're just like waiting for someone to cross in the frame. So with all that taken into account, I'm pretty happy with everything I ended up making. But with all that photography, we didn't finish the theme and the title of today's video, which is annoying things that clients are gonna do. So let's wrap it up. The next thing we gotta talk about is clients putting filters on your image. If they do this, I just separate myself from it. I'm just like, hey, I want nothing to do with that. Untag me in it. Don't tag me any photos if you're gonna put filters on it. If you really wanna go crazy, you can put in a contract. I've seen people do this saying, you're not gonna edit my photos or doctor them. That's not really worth it for me. And this is why I always preach to y'all, make sure you're getting paid the right amount of money for your photo shoots so you feel okay with the client ruining your images because you got the right amount of money with it. And let's be real too, a lot of times you're making photos and you don't really care about them that much. I mean, what are you gonna do with like your mom's friend of a friend's florist photos? Nothing. So who cares if she puts a filter on as long as you're getting paid? And that leads us to the next thing, which is clients actually never using your photos. And if this happens, once again, you got to remember you're providing a service to someone and just make sure you're getting paid. Now, if you're doing a free photo shoot for someone and they don't use them, that's rude. I definitely recommend, calling them out and being like, hey, you're going to actually use those photos because I took time out of my day to make them for you. But if they're paying you your fee, whatever, just make sure you're charging them enough money. If they don't use them, it's no skin off your back. Don't get attached to your images. Don't get upset if they don't get used. Be a professional and just take all the emotion out of it. Next up is clients not paying you on time. Now, believe it or not, you deal with this with unprofessional clients and professional, like really well-established agencies. This happens all the time, and it's actually easier to prevent with these more unprofessional basic clients like your mom's florist friend who you're making photos of. And what you do in these scenarios is you get a deposit. Just say, hey, I need you to pay me $100-200 before we do the photo shoot, and then when all the images are done, you can pay me the rest after. This just kind of creates leverage, so the client is going to take everything a little more serious because they've already invested money into it. Now, if you're on the more professional side and you do sign a real contract and they're not paying you, you can always threaten legal action. Your boy has done that plenty of times, and usually you end up getting paid. So that's how you deal with people not paying you. Feel free to ask questions in the comments. And then the last one that happens is clients taking breaks and acting like you should not be paid for those breaks. If you agree to a time with a client, let them know up front, hey, we're going from this time to this time. We can schedule in a lunch break if you want, but you're going to be paying me for my time on this shoot. So just make it clear to them beforehand, set a clear expectation that, hey, you're paying me for my time with you. If you want to take a break, that's cool. Just know that you're paying me during that time unless we establish that beforehand. So that's everything I want to talk about today. It's getting dark out here. I lost a little bit of light. If you enjoyed today's video, thumbs up. Let me know your favorite photo in the comments. But y'all are the truth. Really appreciate you guys watching and supporting my videos. I will catch y'all next time.